Wow, what a game. What a game, but what a second half. That was electric. We haven't performed so well, I think, this whole season. That was electric, guys. The second half was electric. The substitution, bringing Marcus Rashford on at the time he came on, was spot on. And we always criticize Oli for his in-game management. We always criticize him of not making the substitutions at the right time, leaving it for too late. But in this game, he made the substitutions at the right time. Bringing on Marcus Rashford, I think he came on in the 60-something minute. You must understand, Marcus Rashford is a player that he does not do well when there's no space. When a team has a low block, and the team is very disciplined and resolute, he doesn't do well because there's no space. Marcus Rashford's number one quality is his pace and his speed. He is lightning quick, and his directness. He's not very skillful. He doesn't have the skill of a Neymar, a skill of a Douglas Costa. He doesn't have that type, even a skill of a Pogba. He doesn't have that skill. What he does have is lightning pace and he's direct. And so he came on at the 60-something minutes when the game was broken. A game is the first half of a game, and maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of the second half. The game is still very tactical. Both teams are still very tactical. Both teams are still very disciplined and resolute. But once it hits probably the 65th minute onwards, the game starts breaking. And when the game breaks, there's a lot of space. And players like Marcus Rashford thrive at that moment, in those moments. And so we brought Marcus Rashford on at the right time, and that's credit to Oli. Oli deserves that credit. Bringing him on at the right time when the game was broken, when there was space to run in behind, and you saw his first goal. There was space. The team, RB Leipzig, pushed up. They were on the halfway line, and he broke through. You will very rarely get that in the first half. You might get it, but very rarely. Especially his second and third goal, there is too much space. You won't get it in the first half. So we brought Marcus Rashford on at the right time, and boy was he electric. Boy was he good. He was the business. He was the business. He was a killer, stone cold killer. And that's what I want to see from Rashford. Because Rashford got all the ability in the world. It's just that he makes wrong decisions and he can frustrate you. But tonight against Leipzig, he made all the right decisions. Even giving Anthony Martial the penalty. Many players, he was on a hat-trick at that moment. Many players will take their hat-trick, but he said, you know what, let me give Martial the penalty, let me give Martial a goal. Martial hasn't scored this whole season. He's a striker for Manchester United. Strikers thrive on goals. That's where they get their confidence. Let me give it to him. And you can see Marcus Rashford's a team player. He's a team player, and all credit to him. He will get the man of the match today, and rightfully so, because when he came on, he changed the game for us. Completely changed the game for us. Bruno Fernandes as well. I'm just going to go to the substitutions. Bruno Fernandes as well, when he came on, he also gave us a lot because he gave us energy. And obviously the game was broken for him to pick out some passes. Now, Bruno Fernandes passes or hit and miss. It's hit and miss. He's not consistent with his passes. He gives the ball away a lot of times, but he did give the assist to Marcus Rashford for Marcus Rashford's third goal, and that was a first time pass. Not many players in the world, playmakers in the world, will see that pass. So the fact that he made that pass for Rashford's goal, you give him credit. He gave us something when he came on. He changed the game also when he came on, and you have to give Oli credit for that. And Oli is learning. He's learning on the job, but he's learning because even if you look at the past couple games where he has brought on Paul Pogba has changed the game for us when he came off the bench. In the PSG game, Paul Pogba was the one that gave the assist to Marcus Rashford. And even before that, when Pogba came on, he helped us and he gave us more energy in the midfield and stuff like that. So Ole Gunnar is getting his substitutions right. It was an electrifying second half performance. Electrifying. I can't say the whole game was electrifying. It certainly wasn't. Let's go to the first half, and the plan. Obviously, Oli only got one plan. Let's not kid around there. Oli only got one plan, and it's counter attack. And so when we come up against a team that is a front foot team, a team that comes to us with the game, a team that plays possession football and attacks us and plays attacking football, That's where Manchester United thrives. That's when you are playing into our hands, because we are a counter-attacking team. That's Ollie's system, if he has a system, as a counter-attacking team. So the minute the team attacks us and gives us space to run in behind, that's where we thrive. We've got players like Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, who thrives in positions, and then we've got players like Pogba and Bruno that can pick them up with the passes. So that was the plan and the tactic from Ollie against Leipzig, was play on the counter. We know Leipzig's an attacking team. We know Leipzig's a front foot team. They were never coming to Old Trafford to sit. They were always coming to attack us, and that's their fault. That's their fault, because if you look at Manchester United, that's why we can't beat Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho said that when he plays us, he gives us something that we don't want. We don't want the ball. We want space. We want cross. We don't want the ball. The minute you give us the ball, we struggle to break you down. But when you give us cross to run in behind, we kill you. And so you have to look at the RB Leipzig manager. He's learning also, Nagelsmann. But you have to say, okay, you must understand that RB Leipzig is a smaller team than Manchester United. So for them to sit back and park the bus, it's not a bad thing. They play Manchester United. It's like Manchester United playing Barcelona or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. We are not at their level. So for us to park the bus against those teams, it is not a shameful thing for us to do. It's a shameful thing if we park in the bus against West Ham and Southampton. That's shameful. Or Everton. So the RB Leipzig manager, he has to look at himself, and he got that wrong. But for Ollie now, we speak about Ollie, we Manchester United. Ollie's tactic is counter-attack. That's his tactic, that's his system, as counter-attacking football. And so the minute we come up against, as I said, a front foot team, they play into our hands. And that's what you saw today. In the first half, we surrendered all possession to RB Leipzig. We said RB Leipzig, take the ball and we'll hit you on the counter. And we done that. But what we also done was we gave them the ball, but we did not give them opportunities. They did not create a single opportunity, a single clear-cut opportunity in the whole game. They did not create it. And that's down to our manager, how he set the team up to nullify Leipzig. And credit to our manager. He deserves the credit, because RB Leipzig could not play the football that they wanted. They don't have the players. Let's be honest, guys. RB Leipzig don't have good players. They don't have players nowhere near the caliber and the level of player that we have. However, they've got a system. They've got a system, and we did not allow them to create any opportunities. And that's down to the manager. So we surrendered possession. We gave them the ball, but we managed them. Same what we done to PSG. We gave PSG possession. We gave them the ball, but we managed them. We told them, in a nutshell, we told them what they can and cannot do with the ball. And that's what we done against Leipzig as well. And that was the first half. The first half, we never have much of the ball. But when we did have the ball, we looked okay. We never looked too good. We looked okay. Paul Pogba was outstanding, I think, in this game. He was outstanding. I mean, he was doing Zidane turns, 360 turns. The first, I think, 10 minutes of the game, he was looking very good. He gave the assist to Greenwood. He was looking good. But it's no surprise to me, because he is playing in his best position on the left of a midfield as a number 8. So it's no surprise to me that he put in that performance. It's when Pogba plays, when Ollie puts Pogba as a double number 6, as a CDM, and then we judging Paul Pogba when he's playing out of position. And that's very wrong for you guys. If you're watching this video, it's very wrong for you to be judging Paul Pogba on his performances when our manager plays him out of position, plays him as a double number 6, as a CDM. It's very wrong. We need to judge him like on the basis of tonight, where he played in his best position. And when he plays in his best position, he is the best midfielder in the world. There's not even arguing that. He is the best midfielder in the world when he plays in his favorite position, which is on the left of a midfield as a number 8, box to box. And that's what he had tonight against Leipzig. And no wonder he put that performance in. He was outstanding. Paul Pogba was outstanding. I also saw him running back. I saw him running back with energy. I saw him running back committedly. And he will do that as long as he's got freedom to go forward. That's the only thing. So I was not in surprise with how he performed, Then you look at another standout performer was Fred. Outstanding. The only critic I have against Fred is that his passing is woeful. His passing is woeful, and it's woeful because he rushes it. Fred plays at 120 miles per hour. He plays lightning quick. Everything is fast. Everything is fast. He has to attack the ball fast. He has to close down quick. And when he gets the ball, he has to get it out his feet quick. No, take time. Pick your head up. See who's the easiest option. He doesn't have to play the killer pass. That's not Fred's role. Fred is not in the team to play the killer pass. Paul Pogba is in the team for that. Bruno Fernandes is in the team to play the killer pass, to play the last pass before the goal. That's not Fred's duty. Fred's duty is to break up play. And when he gets the ball, to play the simple ball out. That's his duty. It's the Sergio Busquets, it's the Michael Carrick. That is their duty. And they make football look so easy when you do that. And so that's what Fred needs to do, because today his passing was woeful. It was terrible. He was getting the ball back magnificently, winning the interceptions, winning his duels. But when he got the ball, his passing was so bad, where there was, if he just lifted his head up and took a couple milliseconds more to calm himself down, and he would have seen that there were easier players to pick out. So that's the one critic that I will have of Fred, and that's something that the coaches need to address. Michael Carrick was a world-class midfielder, holding midfielder. He needs to be coaching Fred and telling Fred what to do. But Fred, it was an outstanding performance from Fred. You know, the way he was closing down, he was all over. He reminded me of Prime Kante. Prime Kante, that Kante that was at Leicester, and that Kante that first probably 2 years at Chelsea. Prime Kante, all over the pitch. All over the pitch. You could not get past Fred. Fred had a role to play in the goals, in terms of how he broke up the play, and then he laid it to the people and laid it to the players, and then Paul Pogba got the assist. But if it weren't for Fred, Pogba wasn't getting that assist. So Fred had a role to play, and he was magnificent. I thought Fred was fantastic. I thought Paul Pogba was fantastic. I thought Bruno was good when Bruno came on. Rashford was obviously man of the match, deservedly so. Mason Greenwood was good. Again, the thing with Mason Greenwood, and even Anthony Martial, especially in the first half, was, as I said, in the first half we surrendered possession. So obviously as a number 9, as a striker, you are going to struggle because your team don't have the ball. So you're playing in moments. You're playing in moments. When you do get the ball in one specific moment, what can you do? Greenwood got that moment. First opportunity, first goal. That's how he is. He's a stone cold killer. Many players in that situation, running at that angle that Greenwood was, many players, first of all, they decide to smash the ball. That's the first thing. And many of them, they won't score that. Griezmann had the same opportunity, Barcelona versus Juventus, and Greenwood had the same opportunity, and Griezmann did not score. But Mason Greenwood did not even smash the ball, he placed the ball, and that's how a good finisher is. Mason Greenwood is the best finisher at our club, and for me, one of the best in the world. Whenever the ball leaves his foot, it's always on target, and it's always going to trouble the keeper. And so you saw that Mason Greenwood, one opportunity, one goal. He's a stone cold killer, you know. And then Anthony Martial, let's look at Anthony Martial. The performance was okay, I think. Much better, I think, in the second half. In the first half, he never had much of the ball because obviously we were playing on a counter. And we did not get many opportunities either to really counter. Donny van de Beek. Let's address the Donny van de Beek issue. Donny van de Beek, I think it was an okay performance from him. I won't say it was a good performance. It wasn't a performance of the Paul Pogbas or the Freds or it wasn't those performances. It was just an okay performance. You know, when he did get the ball, he's a very tidy footballer. How he differs from Bruno is that Bruno gives the ball away a lot. Even when he came on in the second half, he was giving the ball away. Donny don't give the ball away. Donny's possession football is so good. But what do you expect? It comes from Ajax. Ajax train you to keep the ball. That's all Ajax do. They're a total footballing team. You cannot go to Ajax and be giving the ball away like Bruno gives the ball away. That's unacceptable. Ajax keep the ball, and so Donny don't give the ball away. He keeps the ball. He's very tidy with his passes. He doesn't have the passing range of Bruno Fernandes, not even of Pogba. Pogba got the best passing range in the team. But he doesn't have the passing range of Bruno. But what he does have is that he keeps the ball moving. He's a very intelligent footballer. His positions in the game is very good. So I think it was an okay performance from Donny van de Beek. He's not good enough, guys, to displace either Pogba or Bruno Fernandes in our starting 11. So That's another thing I'll speak about later, the starting 11 for the next games and stuff like that. But more just on Donny. Donny had an okay performance. It weren't out of this world. It weren't the performances of the Pogbas and the Freds. And it's just okay. You know, it's just okay. Who else? Let's start from the back. Let's go from the back. David De Gea. David De Gea is clearly back to his best. And for me, I think he's top 3 keepers in the world right now. The better keepers are Manuel Neuer and probably Oblak. And then you get David De Gea. David De Gea is back at his best. But what people are not seeing is his distribution. Now there were rumors that when the season ended, that he didn't have a proper holiday. He took a goalkeeping coach and he focused on 2 things. He focused on his concentration and he focused on his ball work. And you can clearly see both of those things have paid off. His concentration is back at where it used to be, where he's no more making mistakes in games now. It's not costing us anything. Every shot that opposition have, Dave is always probably saving it. And he's making saves that only he can make in the world. Dave is the best shot stopper. We've never denied that. And so he's back at that level right now. But his ball work is so good. His distribution is so good. And if you haven't heard it anywhere else, because I haven't heard no one speaking about it, you're hearing it first on my channel, look at David De Gea's distribution. It is good. It is very good. It's not at the level of Edison and Manuel Neuer and Alisson, but it is very good. It is improved from what it was. If there's a player on the pitch that is free, David De Gea picks that player out. Before, Dave couldn't do that. Dave was kicking the ball out and kicking the ball, making people... No, olden day football, Dave was doing that. Or if he had to try and find someone, he was kicking the ball out. Right now, he's finding people with his distribution. And so, I'm happy for Dave. I was always his supporter. I'll tell you what, Henderson, I think he made a bad decision by coming back to Manchester United and not going out on loan. Because he's not getting the gloves. He's not getting the gloves from David De Gea this season. No way. He can play in the Carabao Cup and in the FA Cup, but the main games, he's not getting the gloves from Dave. Dave is at a very high level. Dave is back to his best. Wan-Bissaka was outstanding defensively. For me, he could have done more attacking. Because you must understand, we set up in a diamond. Now the thing with a diamond is you don't have any width. Everything is narrow. Now, the only width that you get in a diamond is your fullbacks. You can say, the 2 attackers, the 2 strikers, you can make them maybe play wide and then make your number 10 be a false 9, but that's complicating things where you want your forwards obviously to be within the goalpost, within the frame of the goalpost so they can score, obviously. So your width from a diamond formation comes from your fullbacks. And today I was disappointed with our fullbacks, especially Wan-Bissaka. I don't think Wan-Bissaka got forward enough. But guys, that is Wan-Bissaka's game. Wan-Bissaka's not a good attacker. But defensively, he never put a foot wrong. I mean, he was making slide tackles, last-ditch tackles in the box. In the box and winning the ball clean. Going to ground, winning the ball clean. And there's not many defenders in the world that can do what Wan-Bissaka does in terms of his defensive one-on-one abilities. He's outstanding, and so I thought it was a very good performance. Wan-Bissaka's back as well. Remember when the season first started, he was poor. But he's looking like he's back as well. Our centre-backs were good. Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, they were solid again. Solid performances, especially Victor Lindelof as well. Never put a foot wrong. Luke Shaw, again, attacking. He could have done more. We are playing a diamond. You have the responsibility to overlap and to attack and to provide the width. And he didn't do it too much for me. However, what I will say is our left-hand side was much better than our right-hand side. Luke Shaw was attacking more than Wan-Bissaka. And our left-hand side was better than our right-hand side. And then you look at, I spoke of Fred, I spoke of Pogba. Matic for me was an okay performance. I don't think it was a very good performance. It was an okay performance. Same like Donny on the other side of the diamond. An okay performance from both of them. I don't know what the ref was at giving Matic a yellow card for when Matic put his hand out. For me, that one a yellow card, and so that put Matic throughout the whole game on the edge. But it was an okay performance from Matic, nothing fantastic. Matic is 32 years old. You can't expect much from him, we did need to replace him in this transfer window. We did not do that. So Matic was an okay performance. I spoke about Marshall, I spoke about everyone else. Scott McTominay came on and I was impressed with Scott as well. Scott gave us energy. When he came on, he gave us energy, he gave us impetus. He was all over as well. And they could not keep up with his athleticism. Many times they were fouling Scott. When Scott got the ball and he drove forward a couple yards, many times they were fouling Scott. And so our squad, our team does look a lot fitter. And so when Ollie was saying that, Ollie was saying that against in the Palace game, the team weren't ready to play football because we did not have a pre-season. And then after our recent win, I don't know when was it, but our recent win, Ollie said, okay, our season starts from here. I have to agree with him. Our season has started from a fitness point of view. The players look much more fit. And they look so fit that the opposition can't deal with us. That's how fit the players look. Credit to Ollie. As I'm saying, Ollie deserves a lot of credit. I'm the first person to criticize Ollie when he gets things wrong. But right now, he's not getting things wrong. He's getting things right. And credit to Ollie. The team looks a lot fitter than it is. Now speaking about how we are going to fit all these players in. We cannot go back to Daniel James and Juan Mata. I'm sorry. Not after this performance. Ole Gunnar started Daniel James and Juan Mata for the Chelsea game and we drew blank. We had a poor performance. We just played our best football of the season against Leipzig in the second half. We cannot go back to Daniel James and Juan Mata. So the game on the weekend against Arsenal, I don't know what he's going to do, but he has to find a way to include Paul Pogba in that team. He has to find a way, and for me, I think Anthony Martial is still serving a one more match suspension. I'm not too sure. But he has to include Paul Pogba in that team. We need Paul Pogba. So he has to include Paul Pogba in the team and find a way where Pogba is not playing as a double number 6. Pogba's not playing as a CDM. He's playing in his favorite position. Why must every other player in the team, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Martial, everybody, why must everybody else play in their favorite position? But Paul Pogba has to play out of position. And then the people are judging him based on his performances when he's playing out of position. It's very wrong. So Ollie has to find out a way to include his biggest players, certainly his biggest player and one of his best players has to come back into the 11. Ollie has to figure it out. And that's down to him as a manager and as a coach. Also, people can say maybe figure out how you're going to include Donny. For me, I won't rush Donny into the starting 11 unless we go with this diamond. This diamond formation can work. It's a good formation. Do I think Ollie will ever play a midfield of Donny van der Beek, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba? Play that midfield from the start of a game? No, I don't think so, because Ollie's not an attacking manager. You can't be an attacking manager and your system is counter-attack. It doesn't work like that. Counter-attack literally means that you're defending and you are hitting on the break from a defensive position. That's counter-attack. So he's not an attacking manager, so I don't think we'll ever see that midfield starting games consistently. You might get the odd game where they start, but consistently I don't think he will do that. It requires a lot of coaching to get the balance right in a midfield like that. So, but he has to definitely figure out how he's going to include Paul Pogba and also maybe Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood is a very good player and we need to also try and get him in the team because he's 18, he needs games. He can't be sitting on the bench. Mason Greenwood needs minutes, he needs game time. And he's ready. It's not like Brandon Williams that's not ready. He is ready to play football. He has been doing it for us and scoring goals. So yeah, my man of the match obviously is Marcus Rashford. Second half performance from Marcus Rashford, out of this world. Obviously man of the match. Followed that by, I'll say, Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is also outstanding as well. Fred, you can give Fred, but Fred was misplacing his passes. So I'll say Paul Pogba. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Magnificent show from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So guys, that's my match review. I'll see you all for the Arsenal game. And let's get the 3 points there. I'm off to celebrate. Ciao.